versus Malfurion.
All right, so we've seen both of these players play. Who do you think has the upper hand now, as we start with Taeng with the Hunter and TerriEN with the Druid?
Switched up. Taeng has the Druid and TerriEN has the Hunter. But yes, it depends on which Hunter list. Again, we already know TerriEN is running the mid-range list. The mid-range list, for instance, is going to be, I'm sorry, I believe a little bit favored against the Druid. We're both queued up into TerriEN, so we'll have Taeng up here on the screen here in just a moment. And there we go, getting an invite from Taeng right now. And as we can see, basically nothing right now as we have the Druid spectator client bug. It is such a fun thing to go through. So
Every single Druid game.
every single Druid game we have spectator issues. And it's not just that. I've seen a lot of ones where Acolyte's been drawn and played, and Acolyte just hovers, or Boom just hovers, and cards are just hovering there over the spectator.
They actually fixed one, because about 4 nights ago when I was trying to spectate you while you were climbing the Legend, I actually watched you. The game was perfectly fine. You were playing Grim Patron, and then it went away. When you queued back into another game, your hand that you drew just stayed up there and it did not move. It was kind of like cloudy and gray, and it just stayed there. And then every single time you drew a card, it would just go on top of one of the other cards you had. So I had no idea what was going on, so I had to keep backing out and going back in. But right now we're actually on turn 3 for the Druid. He already hit him with the Eagle Horn Bow and the Druid right now. In his hand, he's just going to Hero Power Pass. But he has a pretty good hand. If he can get some stuff out on the board quickly, right now he also has a coin and Innervate in his hand, which means next turn he'll be looking at dropping a 7-drop.
I don't know if I would want to drop a 7-drop. You're not under a ton of pressure. There you go. Sen'jin's perfect. Next turn, at turn 5, you can Innervate into one, and then you can curve into one the following turn with the coin, then hit another one. So you can get 7-drop, 7-drop, 7-drop 3 turns in a row by just playing Sen'jin right now, which trades favorably with the Pilot Destroyer that's out there. Personally, I go a Taz Dingo right here. Following turn, you Innervate, probably Boom. The next turn, you Innervate for card draw, and then you have your taunt actually on turn 7. So beautiful setup right here for Druid, and we do see a Belcher and a Savannah Highmane in hand for TerriEN. So TerriEN does have a curve of his own coming up. Unleash the Hound's looking fairly dead. If he manages to hang on to the bow, at least that'll take out one of the big targets, even though he'll be having to face tank a ton of damage coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. But it does look like he's about to Innervate out a 7-drop, which will most likely be Boom. And it does come. And he does, like you said, have Hunter's Mark in hand. So he's going to unleash and Hunter's Mark down this Dr. Boom. So, like you said, now you have an empty turn 5. You got to drop down Sen'jin, and any tempo you could have had 4 turns in a row is now nullified. So now you are behind on the board. So by the time you actually get a chance to get a taunt out there, I feel as though this game will already be over. And right now, he pulled a secret, and that secret looks like Snake Trap. Is that correct?
It is Snake Trap. That is correct.
So Snake Trap being activated, he will have to run that into there. But dropping down the Savannah Highmane, it's not looking too good for the Druid right now.
See, getting the Sen'jin down last turn is just so much better. If he wastes his Hunter's Mark on a Sen'jin, you're happy. I don't believe he would have. Probably would have developed the Belcher and passed. But instead, you just gave TerriEN a huge tempo swing. And now you're, again, instead of going 7-drop, 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 you played a 4-drop one turn, and left an empty mana crystal, and now you're having a hero power and play another Taz Dingo. Not really what you want to see as the Druid. You really like, as a Druid, to curve high. So when you get a chance to curve 7, 7, 7 before turn and the last coming on turn 7, in my opinion, you got to do that. And unfortunately, he did not take it. And we do see Harrison, so he'll be able to pop the trap. He does not have an Innervate, so he's not going to be able to swipe down afterwards, giving TerriEN just a massive board. And really all he'll be able to do is either Hero Power or Wrath after he plays Harrison. Will get 2 cards out of it, but is it even worth it? Would you prefer getting out one of your monster taunts? You have 2 Ancient of Wars. You can go ahead and get them down. You don't need to worry about getting into the trap now. He does have a decent amount of pressure up, so we do see a silence in hand, of course, for TerriEN. So one of those Ancient of Wars is going to get silenced, but the second one won't. So as long as he's smart about how he plays into these traps, and of course the spectator mode glitch of staying on the screen for every Druid choice, and we see Knife Juggler come down, and we're just going to see all kinds of fun coming right here for TerriEN as he just gets juggle after juggle and pushing through a ton of damage right now. I believe you just take everything to the face as the hunter. You're in a very good position. Put him down to 10 health. Another silence kills him next turn if he does taunt up again. So you're in a very tough situation right now. So
and now even with that taunt, you're still in a really bad situation. Because all you have to do is run in one of your 2/2s and then pop your Sylvanas, and you're still dropping down some juggles down to the face, and he's almost at lethal. And actually, is that lethal? Even if he does put up a taunt this turn, isn't that lethal? 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 7, 10. You could pop the Belcher and then leave the... I wouldn't juggle. I would try to get no juggles until the very end. That way you don't accidentally juggle the Boombot into one of your threats.
It's tough. I mean, you want to go face with whatever you can. It looks like he is going to go with Swipe on something right here. We will see what happens though. Oh, doesn't even get to attack. So, we see Harrison coming up right here. And then a grab. That is going to be game right here for Taeng is going to go down 0-1. TerriEN is going to take game 1 of the series.
That is a lot of game. Like, that play he made didn't even stand a chance to stop lethal, even if he did hit it. But
yes, there are just way too much attack on board for TerriEN. And I'm not sure why he chose the route that he did with a few of those. I mean, you had a chance to play a Tazdango, which favorably trades with a pilot, right? That's the first play, in my opinion, where you could have gone a completely different scenario, because the next 3 turns you have 3 7-drops that you can drop, and that's just too much for an opponent to deal with. And you spent the turns not attacking anyway because you were in fear of a freezing trap. At least if you're putting up Boom and you have Boombots behind a Tazdango that you could maybe proc the following turn, or just a bunch of different ways that that matchup could have gone had Taeng went with the more mana efficient plays of playing Tazdango and then having the curve of 7-drop, 7-drop, 7-drop on turns 5, 6, and 7. In my opinion, that's a huge mistake right there. That really loses tempo.
I think it was not so much a mistake. It was a good thought process. It was just more of a gamble. Because had he not had Hunter's Mark, that could have been the defining game right there. Because there's no way you're getting rid of Dr. Machai.
You Belcher the next turn. You stop the 7 damage from going in the face regardless. Even without Hunter's Mark. Just a Belcher. Or just...
I don't believe he had Belcher in hand.
He did. He had Belcher and Savannah High Main and Hunter's Mark all in hand at the point. I believe he top-decked Unleash the Hounds.
He did top-deck.
Oh, so here we go. A Druid Mirror. We see an Innervate in the hand of both players. So, no Wild Growth shenanigans, but we are going to see, we see Coin and Innervate here for Taeng, which is what you want to see. You definitely would prefer to be on the Coin, especially if neither player does have Wild Growth. The only question is, how quickly do you want to get what out there? Do you want to start getting pressure, or do you want to save up to get your bigger threats? Excuse me, both of these players having the biggest of big threats in their Druid list, both of them being very taunt heavy, both of them favoring the more, both of them favoring the more control version. So we see the Ooze going ahead and getting played. You're not going to be destroying a weapon in this particular match, so that's completely fine.
Have we seen all 30 cards of both decks? Because maybe someone's playing Blingtron.
Yes. Blingtron Druid OP. Yes,
all I'm saying is if TerriEN plays Blingtron, Taeng's going to feel real stupid. He's going to be like, damn it, I have the perfect answer to that.
Yeah. I highly doubt that's something we are going to see. And again, Taeng right here being smart, not pointing out the Keeper of the Grove. You would rather save that for Sylvanas. In a matchup like this, you more so prefer to save it for Sylvanas because you're not as worried to try to push for pressure as it would be if these were both double combo, extremely quick ramp druids that want to apply pressure and combo you down. These guys want to live long enough, and I'm not sure. I believe Taeng does have a copy of combo. I'm not 100% sure if TerriEN does.
I believe he does. I mean, I believe we saw at least Savage Roar in his deck when we did it. I don't think we actually saw Force, but I think we saw Savage Roar.
We did. We saw Savage Roar because he finished with Savage Roar and on top of Druid of the Claw Charge. And again, chooses to play somewhat mana inefficient again. Coin Innervate on the same turn just to get out a 5/10, which is great, especially since you drew into a Wild Growth. But again, why even play the Wild Growth at this point?
Next turn, I would say card draw.
Exactly, you're playing Sylvanas already. You're taking out his 5/5 and still leaving a 5/5. You're in amazing shape. Why Wild Growth and not hang on to it and just...
See, I feel like I even would have taken the 5 damage to the face, and I would have just totally cleared the board. Because now he can clear the board. I would have swiped down the Ancient of Lore, or Ancient of War, and then Hero Power took it to the face, and then because right now his board would be empty, and even if he had swiped, you would still have a 5/3 on, 4, 6, 5/4 on the board.
Alright, thankfully he does draw into a 5-drop, so he does not have to play mana inefficiently. He's able to play that, but again, the Wrath alone isn't going to clear the Keeper, and Hero Power is almost irrelevant at this point. I believe Sylvanas is still the strongest play, even though you are playing more mana efficiently. You can go ahead and get the draw out of Wrath. And of course, every option we have for Druid, the Spectator bug continues to pop up. And this is something that's new. This has happened since Blackrock Mountain has come out. So we haven't seen a whole lot of it before that, and I'm sure Team 5 and Blizzard is working on a lot of matchups soon. They normally do a very good job making these matchups. So. And we see just monsters in the hand of TerriEN right now. He has his boom out right now against the Druid of the Claw in taunt form, and here you can either double 4-drop or Sylvanas and Wrath. I believe Wrath for 1 on one of the boom bots, take out the Keeper of the Grove, maybe you draw into a BGH and take out the boom then play mana inefficiently and it's fine.
And he has...
It's rough.
He cannot ignore anything on this board, because he may not know it, but TerriEN has Kel'Thuzad in his hand. And a respawning Dr. Boom is not something that I would really like to get. And Kel'Thuzad is going to be hard to get off the board once it actually does come down, if it does stick, because, as you know, it's out of BGH range.
It is, and neither player playing anything like Mark of the Wild to get out into BGH range. There is a silence... there are 2 silences, I'm sorry, in the hand of Taeng, so Taeng will be able to silence it.
6/8 body.
Still leaving a 6/8 body, similar to what we already spoke about when we talked about getting Sylvanas out early. It's something you want to get out as quickly as possible, and here it will stop, most likely it will stop Kel'Thuzad from coming down this turn. But again, you're looking at a complete board clear again here for TerriEN, going ahead and taking out...
I would have ran my Boombot in first just to see if it would have given me favorable. Because now you're clearing, your Dr. Boom's going to get cleared with the Keeper.
I would have swiped the Sylvanas, ran Boom into the Druid of the Claw, and then the Boombot into Sylvanas. It guarantees a board clear, and your Boom takes 1 less damage. Ultimately, it's completely irrelevant with the swipe, and Keeper would have killed it regardless. Gives it 1 more health, though. It makes him have both of those things.
Yes.
So, personally, that's the play I would have went with. Take a little bit less damage on Boom, since you're planning on doing that anyway. You know what I mean? Let's see. And is able to continue to draw cards.
Did you see that? It didn't stick. We don't have to restart. That's amazing.
It really is, but
Blizzard
be
did their
careful
job.
because it's likely going to pop up again. And both players with a Belcher out. Taeng a little bit ahead right now.
Do you think this is a big enough board for him to Kel'Thuzad?
It's just a Belcher, and he can't guarantee anything with it. I believe.
Well, I think he's going to
playing Sylvanas. Yeah. Getting you once again. You've already dealt with Sylvanas and are not too far behind on board.
And you'll also be drawing out the second Keeper, which is pretty much ensuring that your Kel'Thuzad's going to stick.
Yeah, it really is. There's and as long as Kel'Thuzad can stay on, even if Sylvanas gets silenced here, Kel'Thuzad running in, Sylvanas running into the 5-5 that we see on the board,
And then
kills it
respawning.
and respawns with its normal death rattle. So, a very scary situation for Taeng moving forward. He doesn't know this. He feels like he's a little ahead right now, but little does he know. Little does he know what TerriEN has in hand and what TerriEN will be bringing to the table over the next couple of turns.
Do you think he'll just clear the board here and maybe run in, wrath that, and then run in and give him the 1-2 slime?
No, I believe he probably is going to silence, but I believe he probably will kill it as well. So any Kel'Thuzad shenanigans won't happen. Had he been watching the previous match, he would know that Kel'Thuzad is in the deck. Instead, he's going to keep his silence. So he keeps his silence in hopes of being able to deal with Kel'Thuzad. And just gives up the 1-1 slime. Will be able to hero power, or just, yes, double Ascension is very nice. And still, even getting right here the... Alright, there you go. You do want to get a little bit more on the board before you do something like Kel'Thuzad, and you're not super worried for lethal right now coming up. And Kel'Thuzad now drawn for Taeng, and Taeng able to go ahead and get big value on Kel'Thuzad right now, killing both of the Taz Dingoes and the Keeper into the 5-10, and decides not to go for it. All right. Again, yes, it would not have killed it, but ultimately would have been a very, very strong play. Now he's going to deal with one Taz Dingo. Hopefully next turn they can run into something, and then of course you would love to get Boom down first, but you're at a chance where you can get 2 Taz Dingoes back to back, and now you're looking very good for Kel'Thuzad. You're able to run both of them into Lotheb, get him killed, and just a huge problem right here, going ahead and playing Kel'Thuzad and getting both of these minions back. Right now, Taeng gets him down first, and I believe that's a huge advantage.
No, I agree, and not only that, but he stops him from playing his own Kel'Thuzad. Because he got rid of his board, which I feel like he was trying to develop so he could finally get Kel'Thuzad out there, because he's been on Kel'Thuzad for quite some time. So he stopped his ability to get Kel'Thuzad out there, which I think is the most important thing. So right now, I'm sorry, we had to restart the client because of druidy problems.
Yes.
My druidy problems are gone, but unfortunately the other spectating side, the druidy problems are still there. So he's having a little bit hard of a time. I do remember, I think he had Ancient Lore in hand, so he's going to draw some more cards, just to give him some options here, and he does draw into a Swamp Ooze, which is not going to do anything, but he does have a board, which means next turn, if his board is not completely gone, he should be able to drop down his Kel'Thuzad and build something. On the other end, we do see an Ancient of War in the hand of Taeng, which I believe is going to be coming down here, because that's just another big body that you're going to be able to preserve the life of the rest of your stuff, and they're still going to have to get through in order to get to Kel'Thuzad. And on the other side, we don't see a combo. We see Cenarius, but we don't see any way that he can get through all the tonnage that Taeng has available to him right now. So I think Taeng pretty much has his game in hand. What do you think?
I completely agree. Taeng is very far ahead, and establishing the Ancient of War, again, once it dies, it only comes back as a 5-5, but still, a 5-5 is a huge problem when it continues to come back and come back. This is the point of most Druid, and yes, you do not run it into Harrison. You do not take a chance of a swipe or just a rat being able to take it out. So run that to the face and play yourself an Ancient of War. Or no, he plays nothing.
Because he's playing around MC Tech, which is very smart.
Alright, so we see the Druid of the Claw in charge form, and Wrath taking out the Kel'Thuzad. So right now TerriEN able to fight back a bit. It is now looking in much better shape. Again, both players with around the same amount of health, and TerriEN still having his Kel'Thuzad in hand. So
I think what Taeng did was the safest play, but I don't think it was the best play. You have Kel'Thuzad. What's the worst he's going to do? Steal your Kel'Thuzad? And even in doing so, you had your board would have been full. So you could have still taken out that Kel'Thuzad, no problem. And not only have that, but you could have had the board presence to kill him within the next 2 turns had he taken anything other than your Kel'Thuzad.
Very true, but everything you did have on board was still value. You're not really wanting to give up any of that to MC Tech. And to not only have to utilize, say they do steal Kel'Thuzad, utilize the resources you have on board to make sure you kill Kel'Thuzad and then go above and beyond to try to take out other things, you're just losing value towards the longer the game goes. We know this is a control game. We know both players playing very taunt-heavy versions, and neither player playing the Black Knight. So with as much as we've seen... no, that is not lethal, I don't believe. We have 9, 10, 11, 14?
7, 11, 15, 16.
Alright.
He has 16 on board.
So a little short of lethal. We'll go ahead and draw some cards, try to get himself into a combo. Finally draws into MC Tech, and there is Savage Roar.
He is set up for lethal next turn.
He absolutely is, and TerriEN is going to need to Scenarius, of course, which he does, and then he can innervate Druid of the Claw into taunt form to set up a nice little wall. So that's exactly what he does do. So now what are we looking at? We have combo. Combo itself would kill him. We see no Force of Nature in the hand of Tech. No Savage Roar for the kill, but we do have MC Tech.
I would steal MC Tech.
If MC Tech
steals the Bear Claw, yes.
He wins.
Oh!
That is the game right here, ladies and gentlemen. Savage Roar, 2-4. Oh wait, 14.
No, that's still game.
Yes,
because he's gonna hit his face with the 2-2, and then he should. Yep.
And
that's great.
Swipe. Yes, well over lethal there for Taeng, and a very long Druid there.
No reverse sweep this time.
No reverse sweep. It is tied at 1 game apiece moving forward. So, very lengthy Druid mirror match right there. The taunt heaviness for both players, very exciting. And it looks like we're quickly getting into the next game right now.
But I like that. I like Druid games that go all the way. I like it that go the distance. I don't like one-sided Druids where somebody gets wild growth and then innervates and they just have a board full and it's over in 6, 7 turns. I don't like that. What I like is thought processes, controlling the board, how Druid versus Druid is meant to be.
Very true. And as soon as BRM came out, I thought Taunt Druid would be able to really come back into the scene. And it was really good for a while. Played single combo Taunt Druid and played some Mech Druid as well, which was fun. But I believe Taunt Druid was still very strong at the time, especially with decks like Mech Mage and everything like that out there. If you could start getting taunts out early, then you could really stop the aggression coming up. So here we have Taeng queuing up with his Zoo, and TerriEN queuing up with his Druid. So if we see a Wild Growth or an Innervate here for TerriEN, it'll be looking good because he can get into Keeper of the Grove and Sen'jin early, and that can help him try to establish the board and stay alive. We see a Knife Juggler into an Imp Gang boss here for Taeng. Still no turn 1 play, and potentially a Doom Guard. So it's going to be very interesting here to see. I'm sure the Doom Guard will get thrown back.
Me too. He's probably going to drink.
Yes, and realizing he has 10 seconds left, hopefully he will get a chance. There you go. Gets the decision made before the time runs out. Throws back the Imp Gang boss.
He threw everything away.
No, he kept the Juggler and just moved over. Yes. And he does go ahead and pick up a 1-drop right away. So now he has a curve moving in. And we see no Innervate, no wild growth for TerriEN. So it's going to be turn 3 before we can start getting something out there. The good thing is he does have a Keeper of the Grove he can go ahead and kill the Juggler on turn 3 with before it can get... Oh, draws the Innervate, gets out the Keeper right now. That's exactly what you want to see. Next turn you can coin into Sen'jin Shieldmaster, and you're looking at a very good situation moving forward. Yes, very good play, strong play right there. I completely agree with that. There you go. And continuing to go face. Oh, he's going to go with the Wrath and go for the full board clear, which is very good. Saves the coin for future turns. And he's going to be able to play the Sen'jin right now. And well, we do not currently see another. There's Wild Growth now. This is a tough scenario.
Hmm.
You can Wild Growth to ramp up, get Sylvanas out next turn. Is that even really what you want to do? I believe getting Tazdingo out right now, or even the Druid of the Claw. I even like Druid of the Claw in charge mode. Personally, I would rather proc the Void Caller on my turn than on their turn. Then before they can drop their 1 and 2 or 3 drop minions and then get one of the bigger ones value-wise. But here, they're in a scenario.
Not only that, but it's early in the game. And you saw that he threw away the majority of his hands. So what are the chances really that he has what he wants in his hand? And even if he were to have something like Mal'Ganis now, yes, it's early in the game, but it also gives you plenty of time on your own chance to get rid of him.
Yes. So that is very true. Swipe right here would clear the board, but there is no swipe. So we are seeing Coin Sylvanas. Very good play here for TerriEN. Unfortunately, we do see an Owl, which can come down with a Void Terror, guaranteeing the other Void Caller. Yes, Void Caller comes down instantly for, Taeng. Goes with the Haunted Creeper. Oh, wow, goes with the Haunted Creeper. I believe it's
the Direwolf.
Yep, go the Direwolf. We'll probably take out that and go face with everything else. So I believe is a very strong play. We see no swipe, no other way that TerriEN will be able to get through. And TerriEN pushing through quickly. We see a couple of taunts coming up in the next couple of turns. We see the Druid of the Claw here into Ancient of War, and after that, it's just not 100% sure what's going to end up.
That was a bit of a misplay there. He should have placed the Haunted Creeper on the right side of the Void Walker.
Yes. Definitely should have done that. Does have Implosion to be able to deal with. Actually, I do like Implosion on Sylvanas. Because probably before you would have done that. A much smaller chance of giving up. Let's see. And is he going to go face with everything? All right. It's going to put him down to 13 health. Sylvanas will be able to steal something if it chooses to, or it can favorably trade. There is a Lotheb coming up. It is going. Sylvanas is going to go ahead and favorable trade to stay alive and put out a massive
lot of damage.
Yes.
I believe that's lethal. 4, 5, 6, 5. No.
No, definitely.
I
2 damage off lethal.
I still definitely silence this, and I go all face, and then
I believe you could set up 2 really good Void Terrors, if not tapping. But yeah, it looks like he is going to continue to go face and push for damage. We see no other taunts in TerriEN's hand, no life gain. We do see Wild Growths, but he cannot even draw off them yet. So really tough scenario right now for Taeng moving forward. Not wanting to play the Void Terror, wants to go ahead and
Void Walker, Void Caller.
Void Callers.
There's too many voids.
Void Terror. I mean, I would prefer the Void Terror play because you would be able to buff the minions you do have to be much bigger, and you would call out one of the other voids in your hand.
Yeah.
Have either the other Void Terror or the other Void Caller would come out. So I prefer that line of play. You get yourself the most on the board, the hardest to stick, and as we can see, that will be game. 3, 4, 6.
You can start right when you get to 6.
Yeah. Right when you get to 6, you realize that is game. So, yeah. And, even some juggles along the way if that's what he wants to do. I don't believe Taeng will. Taeng has gone straight for lethal instead of BMing the entire tournament so far. So, congratulations. Taeng takes a 2-1 lead in the best of 5 here at the Cyberside Gathering Cup Grand Finals. So Taeng is now 1 game away. He just has to win with Hunter. Hunter that, with the right draw, can just beat anything. And TerriEN in a very rough position. Does have a Zoo and a Druid going against this mid-range Hunter, both, in my opinion, unfavored matchups. Taeng is in a very good spot moving forward by getting the wins that he has gotten. And let's see, we see the mulligan for Hunter right now.
That is a very good hand. And you can even throw back one of the Haunted Creepers to try to get something better. But Haunted Creeper, coining Haunted Creeper into Glaive Zuka into potential more maybe an Argent. Oh hey,
Sorry.
there you go. So, and right now in the Druid's hand, we're not sure because Blizzard is doing druidy, glitchy things on the spectating computer.
We did see Wild Growth before it glitched out, though. So there is a Wild Growth in the hand of the Druid player. We are pulling TerriEN back up right now. And the Hunts are just having such an insane curve to start off with.
That is beautiful.
It really
and I love
is.
that. Coin it out, because even if they do something to get rid of that, you still have 2 1/1s on your board. You can Glaive Zuka either of them. So right now you're probably going to see Glaive Zuka come down and go exactly right to face. 4 damage on turn 2. Next turn, you can drop down a Juggler and also drop down a Leper Gnome or drop down an Abusive.
Yeah, get 4 damage into something with an Abusive. Probably a Silence coming down. Yes, Silence coming down here on the Haunted Creeper, not wanting to give out the 1/1s. And
if the Juggle falls on the...
Yes, you're looking at 1 Juggle, so you don't have to put your face into it. So the question is, do you play the Abusive Sergeant and waste 1 damage, but guarantee you'll be able to kill it and keep the Juggler up, or...
Oh, I would definitely do the Abusive. Because that way, either way, you can at least kill it, so you can keep your...
Juggler alive for
Absolutely.
the most part. We're looking right now for... We're looking right now in TerriEN's hand, and TerriEN has no other keeper, has no Wrath, has no swipe, has no way to deal with the Juggler coming in. And if Taeng's able to get tension, and TerriEN, again, this next turn can get out an Ancient of War, there is no Hunter's Mark currently in the hand of Taeng, so Ancient of War can completely stop this game, or if a Hunter's Mark is drawn in the game very early for Taeng.
And there it is, in fact. So he doesn't have to waste his face damage, and he can just go right for the Druid's face. And that is a very strong turn. The only thing right now that'll stop him is a Swiper, which is a Belcher, which is also pretty good. Oh, and he's going to coin out a 5/10 taunt. Definitely not a bad.
Just once in a tournament, I want to see a 10-5. I want to see somebody throw out a 10-5.
I saw it once. But they were just BMing. Does that count?
No. I want to see, like, really, you have a chance to put down a 10-5 for the win. You can hide it behind something that's great. Think about it. They've already used 1 or 2 BGHs. They have no more hard removal left. You got it behind a Belcher.
But if you have that much board presence, why are you going to take the chance of them getting rid of it?
I don't know. Because it's awesome to have a 10-5 on the board instead of 5-10. But a 5-10 is still very strong. And as you can see right now, there's nothing in the hand of Taeng that can instantly deal with this. The most damage he's able to put is 8 damage. So he's still off of being able to do it. I guess you go ahead and just play the Piloted Shredder, or and
run into the Abusive.
Yeah,
just in case he has
run
a
into
swipe or something else.
You probably keep the Juggler, because he is going to run into the Juggler instead of the... Oh, wow. So you allow him to clear your entire board, minus whatever comes out of the Shredder.
And he does draw into a Ancient of War. He drops down the Belcher, and that's a pretty big wall that he has up there. And, I mean, other than... Hey,
Glaive Zuka, the second Glaive Zuka would allow him to deal with the front half of the Belcher, but I believe he'd rather take out the 5/4 taunt and leave the Belcher.
Yes. Well, what he should do is he should run the Shredder after he unleashes the Hounds. Now we should run the Shredder and then attack into the Belcher and then Glaive Zuka. That way you can take care of the first half of the Belcher as well.
All right. Oh wait, don't Glaive Zuka yet. You have to hit him with it first.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you can play the... Oh, the rough thing is you don't guarantee...
Oh, it's a 33% chance.
There you go. You get it on what you wanted it to.
We've never seen Hearthstone screw us on a 33% chance.
I know. Those odds never happen, right? We see a snap play from TerriEN, quickly getting the Ancient of War down, drawing some cards. Finally gets the swipe and wrap that he's been looking for. So, very good draws the past couple turns.
And he can dump his whole hand and still deal with it. So, which is a good thing and a bad thing. You get some board presence. It's not strong at all to swipe, but he also has to use his turn 2 swipe. But it appears that he will, because he can just swipe and then hero power, and he's still in good position.
Yes, the game moving on extremely fast right now. We see the Wrath come down for 1, and another Sludge Belcher. No, this swipe. TerriEN is moving very quickly right now. Goes to the face first before killing everything else, before proccing the trap. So,
and now he should be able to check his.
And boom, uses the acidic Swamp Ooze. So he has Swamp Ooze and Harrison in the deck. So goes face. What kind of trap did we have?
That is a freezing trap, which means he's going to bounce back the ooze. That way, if he comes across another weapon, he can just get rid of it one more time.
I believe Harrison would probably be the better way to go. Go ahead and get some cards around. It's only a 1 mana difference now. So playing the Belcher. And the Druid is in very good shape. TerriEN looking like he's going to force a Game 5. I see nothing right here Taeng can do to stay in this. That'll be it. There's nothing he can do. Taeng loses game 4, and we're going into Game 5. Will be, I believe, Zoo for TerriEN and Hunter for... Oh no, Taeng just...
No, you're correct.
Zoo for TerriEN and Hunter for Taeng. So, one last match coming up right here. Game 5, Cyberside Gathering Cup. $100, 10 World Championship points on the line. Zoo versus Hunter. We know with the mid-range Zoo list, Hunter's a little bit favored. And look at the curve. Owl, maybe not something you want to see right away. Then again, you do want to get it out on the Nerubian Egg, which we do see is drawn. We are waiting to see the rest. All right. Oh, wow. So we see the Void.
Not a bad curve for Zoo as well. Also not a good curve. You want to kind of look at a Knife Juggler, things like that, so you can try to thwart off the aggression from the Hunters. But not the worst thing that you could be looking at.
Yes, and excuse me, Void Walker does normally trade favorably with 2 items from Hunter, so your 1-drop able to trade favorably, take out around 2 of their minions. So yeah, you do go ahead and play Haunted Creeper here. You're not super worried about a Power Overwhelming this turn, although that's really mostly what he has in his hand. Of course, going ahead and going to go ahead and put 1 damage into the... Oh no, pushing for damage actually. We'll almost certainly see the silence come out here on the Nerubian. I don't believe we will see Unleash yet, because you will get a bigger board to get it against.
If we do, I think he would have played it before he killed the Void Caller Walker.
Alright, so at this point, I believe you go ahead and play... If you were going to juggle, you would have wanted to do it with the Void Caller still up there. So, yeah.
Not necessarily.
Because you would have had a 50-50 chance of hitting one of the minions with 1 health. Now you have a 33% chance to hit it.
No, but you want to hit... You don't want to break your spider. But then again, if you're going to Knife Juggler, you do want to break your spider. So, yeah, you're right.
Give yourself the best chance to give him a silenced Nerubian Egg and clear his board. Now you take a 66% chance to do so. Goes with the Shredder instead. Wow, and we're going to see the Nerubian likely popped here with double Power Overwhelming in the hand of TerriEN.
And no, we see a Void Caller instead.
With only Mal'Ganis in hand, that is very good. Even though Hunter now, very tough situation for Taeng. It's Game 5. 10 WCS points are on the line. Do you silence a Nerubian or do you silence a Void Caller that may summon Mal'Ganis? A very tough situation for Taeng right now on the decisions that he can make and has to make moving forward. You can go ahead and clear the board and put a freezing trap up, which is good. You stop the Void Walker or Void Caller from being able to summon something, unless you just go ahead and Power Overwhelming it, let it die. But then the trap is still up there. You still have a Mal'Ganis that can't attack yet.
Well, what I would do is I would do an Owl and then probably a freezing trap, and then just clear off the other 2 things like you said. It at least gives you a turn to kind of wait for him to rebuild a board. That way you can do a Juggler Unleash combo and then start hitting face. Because at some point here he has to get aggressive. Okay, it's fine too.
That is why I prefer to play Shredder in the middle. unless you are actually playing Shaman.
Well, in all fairness, there's no way you could have done that differently because the Haunted Creepers were one thing.
Yes, but the Iron Beak Owl could have been on the right.
Okay, well then that's putting the Iron Beak Owl. They're not putting the Shredder in the end.
You still set things up around the Shredder. It's already down.
He has a very nice
Unleash.
Yes.
Juggler Unleash would still likely be able to kill. Actually, you probably want to go ahead and kill that, then Juggler Unleash. You have a very good chance to be able to clear the board.
Yep.
And of course, run those in so you don't run out of space for your Juggler. Perfect plays so far for Taeng. We have not seen a misplay, I believe, for Taeng the entire tournament. I'm not 100% sure if it was he or if it was TerriEN in that Druid game that played off curve and he could have played triple sevens. I believe that was TerriEN, not Taeng. But as we see Juggles here taking out almost everything, 2 Juggles going into minions and 3 going to the face. Taeng able to apply some pressure, has nothing but burst in his hand and a freezing trap up. So, ooh. And just being able to get out a Haunted Creeper is not good. We have...
Oh, 10,
10?
15, 18. No, he leaves them at 2.
Will not even be able to tap.
I would abusive and...
Abusive and hero power.
Yep. Because you still put him in the range of, if he has Hellfire, he dies. And there's no other way that he can clear your entire board, and that just leaves Kill Command wide open for your next turn. Abusive.
Yeah.
Abusive hero power is the play.
It is. Abusive hero power puts him at 6-4. Then regardless, Kill Command hero power is the win. And is there... I don't believe there is anything TerriEN can do. Has Taeng has just won the Cyberside Gathering Cup #1 in a 3-games-to-2 fashion. So congratulations to Taeng. Goes ahead and knocks out TerriEN with his Hunter versus Zoo. So wow.